Okay, so if we take a look on the back end, the WordPress admin, you'll see that I've created two post types, one for authors and one for books. I've already set up two authors, George R.R. Martin and J.K. Rowling. And within books, there are three books by each author. So what we're going to be aiming to do is linking bi-directionally the books to the authors, so then we can display the related books within the books pages and also the books by the author on the author's post page. So if we take a look at the front end, this is just a standard Divi install, completely fresh. And if we go to authors, we can see we've got George R.R. Martin. And if we go into post type, it's just a standard Divi layout. And under books, we have the same thing. So, first things first, if we go to your plugins, obviously you would have previously installed the plugin. We'll go ahead and activate it. And you'll see a new option, CPTR, and there are 4 subpages. So we've got relationships, create new, settings and license. So first things first is to add your license key, save the changes, and this will allow you to update the plugin from within WordPress and keep up to date with the latest features. Moving on to settings. We've got display ACF options. Now, out of the box, advanced CPTR ships with Advanced Custom Fields Pro, giving you the full suite of functionality to create custom fields, assign them to your post types. So I'm not going to get into that too much now. That's going to be for a later video in creating an advanced dynamic website using post relationships. So for now, I'm going to disable that. Now the reason it ships out of the box is because behind the scenes, advanced custom fields is what's used to create the relationships, and then the CPTR plugin enables those relationships to be bi-directional. It also allows for an easy way for you to create the relationships if you're not comfortable doing it with ACF. But you can still use advanced custom fields on your post types. So we could create a custom field for the year the book was released, where the author's from. There's a huge range of possibilities. So moving on to relationships. Let's first take note, there's a notice up here, basically stating that there's one module that's not available within the plugin unless you have the Divi ACF module by Sean Barton, and that basically allows you to display advanced custom fields within your post types using Divi modules, and if that module is installed, or that plugin is installed, then you'll get an additional item available from CPTR that will basically allow you to pull custom field data from a related post. So, for example, on the books page, you could, if you had a custom field for the author that was the author's age, you could display that on the books page dynamically without having to manage a custom field on both post types. So I'll create a video later on detailing this, again in the advanced dynamic Divi website. So anyway, moving on to the relationships. You can see I've already created one here, but what I'm going to do is just delete that so I can walk you through it. So we're going to create a relationship. It's going to be a bookshop, and it's going to be linking authors to books. Now, it doesn't matter which way around you put these. It's a bi-directional relationship, so when you update one, the other one also updates. So save changes once you've completed. Head over to relationships and you'll see we've got a relationship named Bookshop that links authors to books, and this is the relationship ID. This is very handy. You'll need this if you're using these shortcodes, which we'll get onto later in this video. So when we go over to authors now, and we select an author, you'll notice a new meta box, which basically displays and shows the relationship name and the type you're going to be choosing. So we're on authors, we're going to be selecting books. So we're going to select all the books by the author. We're then going to update that. Head over to the books and let's open all of these in a new tab. You can see the corresponding relationship was made for the book. So you can see the author is now selected. Bi-directional relationships basically reduce the maintenance of creating websites with linked post types. So you don't need to be maintaining them both sides. If you add one, it'll update the other side, and if you delete it, it'll also update the other side. So if we go through these, we can see for each book the author has been added. And this also works the other way around. So if we go to our authors, if we go to our books, we open each of these in a new tab, and we select the author. And close these. Have a look at the authors page, and you can see all of the books were added. So now, displaying the information, our goal is going to be to, using the Divi builder, create a layout for the author's page and display books by the author, as well as a featured image and some content. So let's head over to our author we're going to be editing, and you'll see by default the Divi builder is not available. So what we're going to do is go down to the theme options, builder, post type integration, and enable the Divi builder for authors and books. Now, this is a new feature within Divi, and it is going to be expanded upon, because at the moment Divi doesn't really support dynamic layouts for post types. The only way to achieve this is using my favourite plugin since becoming a Divi developer, which is the CPT layout injector by Sean Barton and Tortoise IT. It basically allows you to create a layout and assign it to a post type. You only assign it once, and it allows you to basically manage the layout for potentially hundreds of post types or posts in one place. So I would strongly advise using that if you're going to be using post types, but for the purpose of this video demonstration, we're just going to be using the Divi built-in functionality. I will be releasing a video shortly in the future about integration with the custom post type relationships and the CPT injector by Tortoise IT. But for now, we're just going to stick to the Divi basics. So we've enabled post types for authors and books. So if we now head over to our author page, refresh it, we can now use the Divi builder. So there's one module added by default, and that's the content that you previously entered into the meta box. Now for our layout, we're going to be using 3 columns. We're going to display the featured image, so we can use this module provided by custom post type relationships. Now this is, or was intended to be used to pull the featured image from a related post. However, Divi doesn't have a featured image module by default, so if you would like to display the featured image for the current post, tick this box and you can do that. We're not going to need this image to be a hyperlink because we'd effectively be linking to the current page, so we can remove that. And we want a medium image, and you can style this as you wish, but for now we're going to be keeping it quite simple. So save that, and to display the linked post types, so the books by the author, we're going to be using the CPTR linked posts module. And here you can set a title, so we'll call it books. The relationship is going to be Bookshop. Post type, we want to display a books. And the layout. So the way this works is it's effectively nested layouts, and what you need to do is create a layout for each post type, or that will be used for each post type you display. So if we go ahead and do that now, save that, and go to the Divi library. Let's create a layout called book single, and let's do it for a list. We're going to have 2 types. We're going to have a list and a grid because we're going to display them in 2 different ways in this demo. So we need to select a layout, and I personally use categories just to group them by pages or single layouts. You don't have to, but let's create that. So let's add 2 columns. Let's add the featured image for the current post. It will be a hyperlink because when someone clicks it, we want them to go to the post page for the book. And let's select medium again. And we also want to display the post title. So we want to display it for the current post type. And click save. So if we save that, we'll now go ahead and create one for the grid. Book single grid layout, apply to single categories. And again, let's add a featured image. And the title. Save. We head back to the authors page, and let's refresh it. And go to editor. Okay, the layout's not there. Probably my cache. Bear with me. Okay, so if we try that again, so the layout we want to display, we've got list and grid available. We can use list, so we've got list. This is where you effectively create a layout for each option if you're going to use both. We don't need pagination. And let's click save and update. So if we have a look at the author's page, we can see, doesn't look very pretty. We've got the featured image, the content, and a list of the books by the author. So let's tidy this up a bit. Firstly, let's remove the meta and the featured image with Divi out by default. So we'll go to theme options, layouts, single post layouts, disable the meta. We don't need comments or the thumbnail image. So we'll save that. Head back over and refresh. Okay. So you'll also notice that it's really squashed. This is the way Divi adds this layout. Doesn't seem to give it full width. I believe it's 80%. But what we can do is use a CSS snippet to give it the full width. Now, I didn't include this in the plugin's code because I've reported it as a bug to Elegant Themes, and I'm sure it's not supposed to be 80% by default. So I didn't want to go around setting a style that then maybe might change and affect your layouts. So I'll provide the custom CSS in the description of the video. Effectively all it does is it applies width 100% to this class and only for the post type page. So the post type for the author is writer. In short, that's because author's already taken on WordPress, or whatever it is, so it could be book. So what we'll also do is do the same for book, and that'll effectively give it 100% width. So if we save that and go back, there we go. It's not the prettiest thing. Let's reduce some of this margin or padding. So we'll go to our layouts. We'll go to our list. And there we go. Set the padding to 0 and refresh. That looks a little bit better. So, like I said, you can use all of the Divi styling functionality with a lot of these modules. For this demo, we're just going to be keeping it simple. Think of it as a wireframe more than a designed website. So now if we click on one of the books that's related, you'll see we go to the page for the post page for the book. Now there's no featured image or content because we previously disabled it in the Divi settings. So let's go ahead and create a layout for this. Sorry, edit book. So again, we're going to click use the Divi builder. And we're going to go for a slightly different layout. Let's go for featured image. The current post type. We don't want a hyperlink. And let's make it medium. Yeah, let's keep it medium. Let's save that. And I didn't add any content to these post types, so let's just add some text just about, and then some dummy text. Okay. And next, let's add 2 columns. Let's display the author's name. So to do that, we'll use the CPTR post title module. But instead of displaying it for the current post like we've been doing, we will display it for the post related to this post. So effectively, that's going to be the author. Now, this module works best with one-to-many relationships. So, for example, author to a book. However, if, say, you wanted to have a many-to-many relationship, for example, a football team and footballers, so you had a footballer who played for 2 different football teams, that would be a many-to-many, because you could have 2 football teams to 1 footballer, or 1 football team to many footballers. So if we go to display for the relationship, and we do want it to be a hyperlink to the author's page, so we'll add that, and then let's add their featured image. So again, we're not going to share it for the current post, we're going to do it for the related post, and you can select here your relationship. We do want it to be a hyperlink, we'll have it medium. Now, lastly, let's display the linked or the related posts. So what we mean when we say related posts within CPTR is effectively it's posts with the same relationship as yourself. So any other books that have the same author as the author for the current book you're viewing. That should make more sense in a minute. So we're going to put the title, let's just put books. Relationship is our Bookshop relationship. Want to display books. We can use a grid layout that we previously created. Set grid. 3 columns, no pagination. And let's click save. And update. Okay, so as you can see again, there's a bit of a padding issue. So let's just tidy that up. Grid. So now we've got our post page, we've got a featured image, displaying the book cover, a section about the book, the author, the image of the author, and then we've got books. These are other books by the same author. Now, this isn't the most useful description, so what I've done is created a shortcode that allows you to pull through the linked post's title. So you can use it within a text module to say, for example, other books by the author's name. So to do that, we will remove this title, add a text field, And in the text field we'll put the shortcode, which is CPTR linked post title. You have to pass in an ID, and the ID is the relationship ID. So for our relationship, our ID was CPTR underscore writer underscore book, which is basically the two slugs of the relationship. Let's make this a heading and save. Okay, so as you can see, we've now got a title that says Other Books by George R.R. Martin. So it just allows you for that, have that little extra bit of flexibility when you're designing your layouts. So now, what you need to do now is apply the two layouts you've got, the one for the author and the one for the book, across all of your author pages and all of your book pages. Currently that can be a bit of a tedious process, hence why I mentioned I usually use the CPT layout injector, but for now I'll show you how you can quickly apply your layout across your different pages or posts. So once you're happy with your layout, save it to the library. Book. One thing to bear in mind is when you save it, you will have the content for the current post. So each time you load it into the other post, you'll need to update it. Again, I believe Divi are releasing a big update soon, which is for dynamic content, which should allow you to pull post content and display it, as well as the titles. So as soon as that's available, I'll create a video on the updates and any changes CPTR might need to adapt to it. Okay, so save the layout. If we go to our authors, and save this as author, and then go to any other authors, click use the Divi builder and load a layout, your saved layouts, and choose your layout, so author. And click update. As you can see, it's all dynamic, so it pulls through the information for that author, including their books. And then for the books, let's do the same. So we've got A Clash of Kings. Now, you may find that you've got a sidebar on pages. I think it's not showing for me because I previously disabled it, but just so you are aware, if you apply your layout and your layout page looks like so, you've got this sidebar, you can remove that from the Divi page settings in the top right hand corner. Just select no sidebar under page layout, and that will remove the sidebar. So, as you can see, we've now got our post type layouts done. We've got our authors, our author, all of the books by the author, and if we look at a book, you will see a picture of the author with their name, and also other books by the author. So, I hope you found this video useful, and if you download or purchase the plugin, you enjoy it. Any questions, don't hesitate to contact me, or any enhancements or feature requests. I'd love to hear them. Thank you.